I finally got a co-host that will put the appropriate amount of fire in your blood. We are thrilled to have Drey Jameson here talking about his career and what 2026 holds. Don't you guys go anywhere. We're starting in 30 seconds. Ski and welcome into a special edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast. Thrilled to have you guys here. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX, but none of you care about that. You care about this man sitting next to me. We are thrilled to have Diamondbacks pitcher Drey Jameson in studio. Of course, we also got our guy Damon Dog on the ones and twos today. Damon Fairall, the leche to my cafe. But thrilled to have you guys here. Ski to you all. Dre, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it so much. I have to dive into the a really personal topic right away. And before we get started, I need to know how big of an impact has rapper and producer Dr. Dre had on your life? Positive, negative. How old have the Dre Day comments already gotten?
I would definitely say that. I mean, I never really listened to his music,
Okay.
but the one thing that I always say when someone doesn't understand, like when I'm introducing myself
Yeah.
and they're not understanding like what I'm saying, Dre,
Yeah.
I always say like Dr. Dre.
Yeah. It's that
So
easy.
that's kind of the farthest I would say I went with the whole Dr. Dre thing. I've always asked my mom like, was that like a your favorite rapper?
Yeah.
And she's like, it had nothing to do with that. So, but yeah.
It'd be great if she was like, "No, The Chronic is my favorite album ever." Absolutely, but I know we've gotten mileage out of using it on our thumbnails quite a bit. So hey, we'll take any good pun we can get. But before we get on to your stuff, I just wanted to ask you if your what your reaction was to the Diamondbacks picking up Nolan Arenado via trade. I know this just kind of happened, but what do you think he'll bring to the franchise with all his years of experience?
I mean, yeah, he's obviously a really good player. I think the biggest thing for us is having him, a lockdown defender, and then, like the years that he's had in the league, the impact he's going to have on a younger team. And I think that's like something that's really big to bring into an organization. We had a couple years Evan Longoria.
Yeah.
I think he was the glue guy, and I think Arenado is going to be that glue guy for us this year.
There's been a lot of comparisons to Evan Longoria, obviously due to the third base thing and years of experience. But I guess you personally, do you take those opportunities when you're around veteran guys to kind of pick their brain and get what you can from them? Like how does that dynamic work for you personally? Do you, I mean, that's something you jump on, or do you just kind of like let natural conversations happen?
Yeah, I like to intertwine with them. Obviously, his journey is a little different than my journey as he's a position player. I'm a pitcher, but
Sure.
experiences and how to handle yourself, how to go about certain things. Um, I'm also very kind of not standoffish, but I'm very shy when it's at first. So it
Hmm.
takes a minute for me to, get the courage to walk up to someone like that. But when he's in the clubhouse, he's your teammate, he's your brother. It's easier to talk to.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm definitely interested and excited to pick his brain and hear about the stories that he has had
Yeah.
during his career.
See, and it's like it's the big reason why we're such like big fans of James McCann being
Hmm.
back on this team. Obviously, as a catcher, that has more of an impact on you as a pitcher, but it still feels like again his ability to share what he knows with you and that relationship feels like something good to have back there with somebody that with that many years of experience.
Correct. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. So when you hear brewer rumors like this brewing over the off season, do you ever get a little anxiety that your name is going to be tossed in there? I mean, I know at one point there was like some discussion that teams very much liked you and obviously had interest in you for good reason, right? But like, do you get that, or do you just kind of block out the noise and not really worry about your involvement in anything until if it happens, it happens kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a guy that stays where my feet are. And for me, like outside noise, I try to block it out as much as I can. Um, it's also we're all human, you know.
Right.
So when you start hearing noise and things like that around your name, you get a little curious. But for the most part, I mean, I'm just trying to stay within myself, do whatever I can
Sure.
to help whatever ball club it is. Hopefully the D-backs for a long time, but you know, things change, things go different ways, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, it feels like it's easy to ignore stuff for the most part, but then, like social media algorithms will be what it is, and like it feels like it's just hard to constantly avoid all of that stuff. But you've also just had uh, one of the more frustrating paths. I think that would be fair to say,
Fair.
because you were incredible when you first made your debut for this team, and you've been incredible for stints, but the injuries have kind of been a problem. You had Tommy John surgery, the bone spur, and now you're back again. How have you kind of, I guess, stayed focused to get back to this spot without letting those injuries kind of get you down too much?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what I said. I kind of stay where my feet are. And it gives you it's I've always been a guy that has been told like, hey, you can't do this, or hey, you're not going to be able to do this. You're too small. You're too this. You're too that. So it's kind of it reverts back to that a little bit in the sense of like Tommy John now is in a sense um it's so not common, but it's so common
It seems
that
to be common.
it's a very comeback surgery. It's not a career-ending surgery, but and then I got hurt again the second time this past year. That one was a little more frustrating because it was like we didn't know what exactly was going on. I was having problems and there was no answers for a long time. So at that point in my career and that injury, I was a little on the edge of like, is this just how my elbow is going to be?
Yeah.
And then we took a route and fixed it, and then I did some stuff this off season. Went and saw some people this off season to really get to the root of the problem and start really working in on the body. I can say I kind of lacked that in the years prior, but now it's go time and it's full body, full health, and trying to stay on the field.
Have you always kind of, I guess, been able to stay healthy up until this point? Is that why, like, suddenly the changes kind of
Yeah,
come up because you were lucky enough to not have to experience this kind of stuff?
yeah, I've never been injured. Now I have,
Yeah.
but before Tommy John, I had never been injured. I had never broken a bone. I have never like nothing. It was I didn't even have to realistically warm up to go do what I wanted to do. Like life was easy. The game
Yeah.
was easy.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of competition, but like staying on the field. Um, and then all that hit. I had TJ, and then I just felt like it was a tumble, it was a spiral, and it was like one thing after another, after another, after another. So that was my cue of like really, zoning in on my body um, to basically just stay on the field. I think when I'm on the field, I do my job. I do what it is asked of me, and some. And I just think, I just have to stay on the field, and I'll be fine.
Was not knowing the bone spur was what the problem was that like the lowest moment for you as far as like these injuries are concerned? Just having that, I guess, like having medical professionals kind of looking at you being like, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean that was super frustrating. There was a lot of me being really annoyed. A lot of conversations more than I've ever had in the sense of opening up. Usually they tell me what to do, I do it, and I trust in the team, and
Sure.
and I still trust in the team today. We figured out the route, and we had to try a couple different things to see what was what, but for the most part, I think we zoned in on the problem, and I took some outside action as well, along with inside action to basically work the two plans together.
Mhm.
And now I'm on a plan now, and I feel healthy, and the ball's coming out good, and yeah.
And it involved Botox. How like I've read this about your return before, but like how was it explained to you that Botox impacts this injury and helped it get relief?
Yeah, so I got Botox in my neck, both in my scalenes,
Okay.
and then I got it in my pec minor. And basically it's not the TOS surgery, but it's kind of resembles it a little bit in the sense of like there's a my muscles are contracting in a sense, and it was not letting my nerve endings glide smoothly to where I was feeling the pressure in my elbow
Wow.
from it.
Wow.
Um, so when they did that, it worked. But for me, it was like, okay, well, what caused it? How do I prevent it?
Sure.
And talked with them, made a plan with them, and then I got some outside help down with Mike Barwis in Florida, and we went through a whole, he tested every single joint in my body
Mm.
and kind of pinpointed it down that my shoulder was a little inverted in, and we're trying to get that back, and huge progress so far. And the ball's coming out good, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's really just yeah.
Well, I imagine that's a problem for pitchers quite a bit, like pain, but just now, or at least in the probably maybe in the older days of baseball, it was just more like, well, now you just that hurts now, and you're just going to have to figure out a way to maybe pitch slightly different in order for you to not experience that pain. But
It's
like
a
you're getting down to like the actual root of the problem that might to ensure that this like doesn't creep
Happened
back up
again.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it got to a point where I couldn't even extend my arm without like a knife feeling sensation
Yeah, you're saying you
from
couldn't
the
shoot a
yeah, if I
basketball.
were to try to shoot a basketball, it would hurt.
That's crazy.
But we don't have that problem anymore. But I just say it's the most annoying part is I knew it was something small. I
Yeah.
knew it was something little minimal.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something that needed a whole lot of
Like surgery or anything like that.
correct.
Yeah.
It was more of like just what is the problem and how do we fix it? And I mean it came down to Botox, but
That's wild. It's wild.
maybe it's because we're in Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Arizona. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good it fixes everything. It fixes a lot of things. But I guess has anything in your game changed? Like what do you feel like has changed from your first big league stint where you've had, so much success and honestly you've had success throughout your entire career. We've been talking about you as being an elite, bullpen option for this team, and we've kind of discussed your numbers before, and you've always put up good stats everywhere you've gone and at whatever level you've been asked. But has there been something that's taken like a big leap forward now from the time when you first started?
Yeah,
Besides
I mean,
besides the pain management stuff and that
yeah,
stuff.
I would say from the time of like my big league debut to now is a kind of understanding a little more of pitching rather than throwing.
Hmm.
When I first got drafted, I was a thrower. It was early. My stats were really good. But I also think that came with a lot of guys didn't know who I was.
Sure.
I was a new arm in a system, and they didn't have much intel on me. So the success came from not knowing who I am as a pitcher, what I can do. Obviously, as the years go on and the longer you're in the game, you get picked apart a lot more. Um, and I think that's shown in the last couple of years since then. Of I'm not a guy that before I was going out striking out everyone, and then now it's like I zoned in basically in a sense of like instead of trying to strike out everybody, I'm trying to get quick outs. I'm trying to get outs, and that was when I was still a starter. Now reverting back to the bullpen role, um, it's a role that I've never been in before.
Mm.
So it's something I'm still even today learning how to do. Trying to find a true routine that is best for me to be ready for every time I step on the mound. Um, so that's still a learning process that I'm taking in now, especially now that I've been hurt the last 2 years basically.
Right.
There's not much there's not much intel and not much experience in the bullpen because I've been hurt a lot of it. So, um, yeah, I would say just from the start to finish as of now, it's really learning how to pitch rather than throw.
Yeah. And how has your I mean obviously your preparation has had to change from being a starter to being a bullpen arm. Like has that been like the biggest hardest thing to adapt to from being a starter to being a reliever, or what would that be if that's not the case?
As a starter, you have more to be able to work counts. You have more game to make the game. Whereas
Sure.
as a back end bullpen guy or even an early bullpen guy, you're probably coming in cleaning up messes, going
Seriously.
1+.
Yeah.
So you're going into a game that is already kind of messy in a sense,
Yeah.
and you have to go in and you have to figure a way to get out of it. and limit damage. And for me, I like the high pressure situations. I don't like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like, I'll do it. Obviously, I've done it. I'll do it for the next 10, 20 years if I can, you
Sure.
know? But for me, I want the high leverage moments. I want the moments where you got to put everything out there on the line and you got to compete. And sometimes it doesn't go your way. And you know, the other side, they get paid to do the same thing you get paid to do. So, um, we obviously want to be on top more than you're on bottom,
Right.
but you know, it's part of the game, and it's more of basically just understanding it as of what I've understand as a bullpen guy is it's like we got to get to two strikes even faster.
Right.
We got to get outs. Like there is no at the end of the game is when the most runs are scored. So you got guys that have seen pitches over and over today or over and over that day, and they're just really trying to zone in and score runs. And later in games is when is coming on. Guys are taking more serious at bats because you know a guy's 0 for 3 and he doesn't want to go 0 for that day. Like he's gonna lock in a little more
Sure.
and a little more.
Yeah.
So those pitches have to be a little more and a little more, you know, controlled
Right.
and planned out. And that's what, you know, our goal in the bullpen is watching these games as they unfold. Is it's not just sitting down there joking and I mean we have fun in the bullpen, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but there's a time where you have to lock in and see, hey, this guy's scouting report is right here. It's telling he's not good at this, or he's good at this, but today he's been hitting fastballs down and away.
Mhm.
And that might have been his hole, but it's like he's been doing pretty
Yeah.
well on
Today
that
is
pitch.
different
Today's
than what his
different,
scouting
correct.
report
And
would
that's just
say.
baseball in general, and that's
Sure.
why
Sure.
anyone can win on any given day.
Right. Yeah. Baseball's fickle like that. But I will say it doesn't surprise me at all that you thrive in those high leverage situations. I know you're a very competitive guy, and I love that about you. And I think that again, it feels like that probably played into how long it takes to recover from some of these injuries. I imagine it was just kind of like a lot of impatience on your end of wanting to get back out there while you're still essentially recovering, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm super competitive. The last thing I want to do is sit on the sideline.
Yeah.
And even if that's if I have to be the water boy, you know, but I'm on the roster and I'm doing and
Yeah.
I'm competing at something,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna get the water there faster
Yeah.
than
You're
the
gonna
other
be the
guy.
best water
Yeah,
boy out there.
that's just my mentality. That's how I am, and um, you know, I think that's what's gonna keep me in the game a little bit longer than maybe when my time comes, maybe a little bit longer, just because I have that competitive fire in me.
For sure. Well, what's your mindset when you come into a game in a high leverage spot? I know you haven't been doing the relief thing very long, but like, are you pumped? Like, do you find yourself just, I obviously I know you're pumped when you pitch regardless, but like, do you just feel like you kind of, because it feels like your makeup and who you are is kind of specifically made for those kind of situations. Like, you just seem like the kind of guy that would be just a cool in a high leverage situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely my forte for sure. You're gonna get the best Drey Jameson in a high leverage situation. Um, how I prepare, how I take the field, how that kind of stuff happens for me is it's very I feel like I block things out even more in higher
Sure.
situations because I know there's a plan. I know like I have to lock in. You know, you get thrown into a 9-2 ball game in the sixth inning, it's it's a little harder to lock in, which
Yeah.
that's something that
Yeah.
I have to work on. And you know, because every time you take that mound, it should be the same mentality, same competitive, same everything. Um,
And we saw plenty of times where this team came back when the bullpen was able to hold a lead
for
of some
sure.
kind, even when the deficit was pretty big.
Yeah, I agree. So I think really just zoning in every time you take the field and it's an O game no matter the score.
Yeah.
It's O game and the first one to score wins. And on the defensive side is don't let them score.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about it. Diamondbacks need a closer, and I feel like for the most part, what we've heard from Mike Hazen over and over again is that this is kind of a wide open situation for bullpen arms. Do you see yourself as a closer for this team in the future, or perhaps even in the bridge closer role between now and perhaps when some of those other guys come back?
I think I have a good shot. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a role I definitely love to take on. I think we have a lot of bullpen arms, even with some guys down. I think we have a lot of bullpen arms that can fulfill that position as well. So I think we're in a unique situation, unique spot that it's going to give a lot of guys chances to show like, hey, what can you do?
Yeah,
What can you do in these high leverage situations? And I think, that decision is going to come based off who shows that at an early stunt. Um, and for me, I'm full board. That's the job that I want. If I'm not going to be in a starting role, that's the job I'm going to be working for, um, until those guys come back. And then, in that sense, it's not like, oh, Justin Martinez is back or AJ Puck's back. I'm gonna get booted here. I'm gonna get booted there. It's that's just our bullpen's getting stronger. So
sure,
now
sure.
it's you got three closers, four
Yeah,
closers,
yeah,
five closers, but you also got three mid guys, three mid guys, three mid guys, and you have guys that can just go out and get outs. I mean, I think that boils down to a lot of success in the sense of like knowing you have a lockdown closer is great, but knowing that you have four lockdown closers is even better.
yeah, yeah.
And I think when those guys come back and the guys we have in our bullpen now, I think that's going to be the situation we're in. And I think we're just going to have some lockdown guys that are going to close out some games. And doesn't really matter who you put back there.
That's electric. Well, and I feel like one thing we've been talking about is how wide open the opportunity is for everybody. I mean, you're still uh, a younger guy, right? And I mean, even the guys that are younger than you, it feels like there is an opportunity on this team that you probably won't get on most teams to kind of come into camp, no matter where you're at in your development, no matter where you're at in your career, and impress and actually earn a job. And like it again, it doesn't really feel like that's been the case with the Diamondbacks this much in the past, and it also feels like it's not the case with every MLB team, but it just does feel like a great opportunity for guys that are hungry to get started and prove themselves.
Yeah, I think even last year was a good stepping stone for a lot of guys. A lot of guys to show what they had, a lot of guys to show what they could do. And that's what can make a long time big leaguer. A guy that might not ever get a chance or a shot in the big leagues, you have injuries and stuff like that that then they get called up and they do their job and they do it well, and it's a guy that then will stick in the big leagues for a couple more years or shoot for 10 plus years. You
Yeah,
never know. Um, but I do think there's a lot of opportunity on this team, especially in the bullpen. It's just who's going to capitalize, who's going to do their job, and who's going to show up every day and work hard and be a good teammate and win ball games.
well, I mean, again, that's it feels like at times, this team and most Major League Baseball teams kind of it takes forever for younger guys to get that chance, right? But like again, they have a lot of talent in this organization, and as we saw last year, a lot of guys did step up. I mean, I had said it on the show, but I almost felt like at least from my opinion, it was unfair. Like some of these guys were like minor leaguers 2 weeks ago, and here they were pitching in the eighth inning against Shohei Otani and Freddie Freeman and doing an excellent job at it, right? Like
Yeah.
not failing, not being bad, but still like this organization kind of was just in a need last year, and it did feel like there were a number of guys that took that step forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that refers back to like, maybe some guys that didn't or never really would have had a chance before, maybe got overlooked,
Yeah,
now they're making their big league debut and it's like, here you go, what can you do?
yeah,
This is your interview.
yeah,
And I feel like a lot of those guys succeeded
yeah,
and they did a really good
yeah,
job.
for sure. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of this break, we're going to have more with Drey Jameson, including, as you all cannot wait to hear about, all of his cleats. We're going to talk about cleats for like a half an hour, but don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, these boys got some renovations going on over at Chase Field. And of course, you can get some renovations started on your home. 2026 is a great time to get started, and let the folks over at the Window Depot get you going on whatever project you're looking to accomplish this year. They have way more than windows too. Although they did get started with windows back in 2002, they now offer a wide array of everything that you need to get your projects at home started, including cabinets, sinks, countertops, everything you're looking for. They do have windows as well. They also have skylights and other things. They also have low pricing and ready to go inventory. It's the reason why contractors love the Window Depot. They obviously offer some great prices, but they also offer site ready inventory, which is very, very important to contractors, as well as no membership policy. And you don't need to be a contractor either for you to check out the Window Depot. So get started today. They actually have in-house designers that can help you get started on whatever project you're looking to get done this year. So do not hesitate. Check out the Window Depot. More than just a window store. Visit thewindowdepot.com and get started on your next project right now. Also, Branded Bills make some wonderful hats. We love the hats around here. Not only have they made us some amazing PHNX merchandise, but they have hats featuring ASU and U of A as part of their campus collection, along with like 40 other universities, as well as the Phoenix Suns, who are incredibly hot right now, and they have some amazing hats featuring Phoenix Suns over there. But more importantly, if you are a brand looking to have your brand stand apart from the crowd, look no further than Branded Bills. You can call them right now, contact them, and their team will get you started on your custom apparel order, whether you're looking for hats of the fitted nature, snapbacks, beanies, doesn't matter. They also have t-shirts, they have bags, any kind of merch you're looking to get your company's name on, they can get it done for you, and they can get it done with quality. So check out Branded Bills today. They're a local company from right here in Mesa, Arizona, and you can get 15% off your first order. Just head to brandedbills.com and use our code BBPHNX for 15% off that first order. Well, we're getting some breaking news in our live chat that Ranger Suarez is going to the Boston Red Sox. And hey, as far as I'm concerned, get him out of the National League. That's fine with me. If he's not going to be a Diamondback, get him as far away from our division as possible, because it's already, things are tough enough over here. But hey, man, you know, again, you're going to be a big part of this team. And so hopefully, I mean, how do you view it? Like, this is obviously something as fans that is exhausting to see what some of the teams in baseball spend and do. But like, at the end of the day, do you just see it as guys in other laundry over there? Like, is it easy for you to overcome, you know, throwing against or pitching against some of these huge names in baseball?
I just, you know, when you sit in BP and you watch batting practice,
Mm.
you realize that even the best ones still get out in BP. So
Yeah.
when you're on your best and you're at your best, you can get anyone out.
Right.
Obviously there's some guys that are you have to lock in a little more, or you have to, you know, be cautious of what they can do. It's more of like, don't let that guy beat
Mm.
us. But at the same time, it's like, just attack them. Like,
Yeah.
they the best hitters get out 7 out of 10 times.
Right. Right.
So you're gonna get them out.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be this time. We hope it is,
Well,
but
hope
at the
this is
same
what we see.
time, it's like they get out 7 out of 10 times. So I'm gonna throw to you.
Yeah. I've said it, man. Guys that hit the ball 28% of the time get paid like $25 million a year, and
It's
guys that
crazy.
pay it 23% of the time somehow suck. You know,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's
it's
the way
wild.
baseball is. But when you look at your stuff, what pitch are you currently most confident in?
Definitely the sinker. I like the sinker. It used to be the slider. I'm working on getting that slider back from TJ. Is kind of been a different pitch for me. So trying to find that slider grip and trying to find, you know, the exact release points and all that kind of stuff on the slider is a big thing that I'm working on now. But one pitch that I will say that I'm pleased with, that I have confidence in, is now the changeup. Is I would say one of my better pitches now.
Really? That's good. That's always good to hear. Changeup's always good. Does the Tommy John surgery like impact your grip? Is that like what did it kind of impact the most after recovering from that?
Um, I would say more because I was like a really like pronator.
Okay.
So I was already a pronator. So getting to, I think it's called supination, is when
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
here,
yeah. Supination.
was before injury was a little easier to get to, but
Okay.
now since, you know, everything with the surgery and the brace and the elbow, I think kind of tightens things up to make you more of a pronator, to
Mm.
where it's hard to stay on the supination. So that's something that I'm trying to find the medium to get the same horizontal break that I want,
Right.
um, but in a way of like not showing that I'm throwing a slider.
Does it make you just not trust it at times? or trust it differently versus the way that you were like confident in it before?
No, not really. I'm always gripping it thinking this thing's gonna be nasty,
Okay.
and then I throw it and it's just not nasty, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck
What
happened?
happened? What
Yeah,
happened to
like
it?
what happened
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it?
Well, what's something our people in our chat here don't realize about like getting prepared during this time of the year? Because I think like the baseball off season, obviously the shortest in sports. I know that there was a time where it was almost like guys were told specifically not to do anything during the off season. Those days are far in the past. But what's difficult around this time of the year of like staying in shape but not kind of overexerting yourself before you get into camp?
For me, it's a little different. Especially with all the injuries I've had, it's making me more hungry to be in the field and getting my work in. Because this is a year that I really want to come out and show who I actually am.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, when the team or the coach, they're like, hey, and they break down numbers, like this is what the MLB average is. And it's like, I don't want to know what MLB average is. Like, what are the elites doing? What are those
Yeah.
numbers?
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm going to chase numbers, I'm going to chase the elite numbers. I'm not going to chase average numbers because I don't want to be average. And that's
Or it just gives
the
you a sense of satisfaction if you're slightly above average that you're doing fine because
correct.
you're above
I
average.
just I want elite numbers, and that to that point, I'm bringing that back and saying like that's the kind of year that this is going to be
Mhm.
for me. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, and we're gonna roll with it. And what you see this year is going to be the best Drey Jameson you're going to see.
Hell yeah. Pumped for that. Well, let me ask you this. What is the toughest lineup you've faced so far in the big leagues? Do you remember having either your struggles or just in general kind of being maybe a little bit starstruck by the guys you were facing against?
So believe it, I'm not like really starstruck on anyone. I mean, I think it's cool. No one really starstrucks me.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, facing the Dodgers lineup was, and I didn't face them this year, but in 23, 20, yeah, 23,
Mhm.
when I was a starter and faced that lineup, it was silly. And then this past year with the Cubs, that was a really
Yeah,
good
that's a tough
lineup as
lineup.
well.
Yeah.
And that was back when everyone was just hitting on the Cubs. This
Mhm.
is when they were hot.
Mhm.
So that was a tough game. And then I mean, the lineup I faced I mean, I know it's spring training, but the lineup I faced with the Dodgers in spring training was kind of nuts
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But
It's
for the
funny. It's a
mo
spring training lineup and it's still
yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
crazy. But I definitely say, and the Padres. I mean, I feel like every game that I've been in, it's a team that's like
Like an all-star team.
this
Yeah.
is legit.
Yeah.
These guys are legit, and there's games where they might have one really good player
Mhm.
that's, superstarish, and then a bunch of not filling guys, but a bunch of daily MLB
Yeah. Yeah.
big leaguers.
Does it is it I guess not harder, but like you kind of know what you're getting into with a tough lineup. Is it those is it this the ones where it's just regular everyday big leaguers that like kind of can catch you off guard more because you're not like all
Yeah,
dialed in on those guys?
yeah, because you're like on those kind of games, or you face, 7, 8, 9 in the lineup. You're coming in 7, 8, 9. It's like, hey, let's just get these guys out. Like we need to get these guys out,
Yeah,
because we don't want to face 1, 2, 3 if we don't have to face 1, 2, 3 at
for
the end of the
sure.
game.
For sure.
And those are the 7, 8, 9 guys, or the glue guys. Those are the guys that keep you in the game. Those
Yeah,
are the guys that turn that lineup over for those superstars to get in there and try to win the game.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, you definitely as a player can overlook that. I'm an honest person. You can
sure.
overlook some of those guys, but um, that's something
Yeah.
that has got to change in my preparation and as I'm running out to the mound.
I mean, it's the same thing with us as people spectating as fans. You sit there and see a team that has a bad lineup beat you or, put up 8, 9 runs on the Diamondbacks and you're sitting there saying, what the hell? How did this happen? It's like you said, any given day, any guy's gonna go out there and beat you or get his hits that day
Yeah.
or be zoned in on the fastball that day.
What's
But
crazy too is it's like those bad lineups, like they're not even bad.
no, they're
Like
not. That's what yeah,
they're
again.
they're good. They're
Again,
good
guys
players,
hitting 240 instead of 270 at
Yeah.
3%
Guys that don't
difference.
have the last name Otani, like,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like those are the guys that are grinders, man.
Yeah.
Those are dudes that like they grind and grind, and your superstars don't
They're
really
there for
grind.
a reason.
Yeah, I mean they did their work. They have a God gifted talent. They're
Sure.
really good at what they do, but like they don't grind like those dudes that gotta grind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys that have to grind, which I would say in 23 was the D-backs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Definitely.
you had a bunch
Definitely.
of guys on that team, and me on the inside looking in is just like, dude, these guys grind. Like
Yeah.
it's a team you don't want to play because they'll play small baseball. They're guys that they're fine with laying down the bunt to win. You go and tell, one of the superstars, hey, we need you to bunt with a guy on third, one out, or a guy on second, one out.
Yeah.
They don't really want to bunt. They want to
Right.
hit a homer.
Of course. Of
They
course.
want the show.
Yeah.
And I think, those the grinder guys and the superstars that grind are the ones that are the scariest. And that's Freddie Freeman.
Is
Freddie Freeman is that
a
guy's
grinder.
legit.
Yeah.
That guy's legit,
Yeah.
man.
Grinder with the talent on top of that for sure. And I was gonna say this team still feels like it can be that team of grinders. Like obviously a lot of the parts are still here, but it also feels like, again, they kind of got away from their identity a bit, and Hazen and Torrey both talked about like getting back to that defensive mindset, the running on the base paths, doing the fundamentals, the small things well, and that's one thing that brought this team a tremendous amount of success in 23.
I think the D-backs, I think we're gonna shock some people this year.
Yeah.
Truly. I think we have some pieces. I think we have enough guys that are hungry that wanna win games. They're not we're not satisfied with being okay. We're not satisfied with not making the playoffs by one game. Like I see and you can kind of feel the energy when even right now going to Salt River Field, it's like people are in there working and
Yeah.
I've been in Salt River Fields when I was going through TJ. I was in there early January, December, like and you might have four or five guys in there. Like Salt River Fields is packed. Like
Yeah.
we got a lot of guys in there working out, a lot of guys putting in work and showing face. And I truly believe that this year's gonna be really good.
That's great to hear. Who's I want to ask who's the hardest worker out there right now, but I don't want you to put anybody on the spot. So I'll ask you this. Who's your hardest teammate to strike out?
Hardest teammate to strike out?
Yeah. So you face guys in live VP like during spring and stuff. Is there anybody that like
Yeah. Definitely Corbin. I mean,
of course.
he's a star of the team, but like he's the work that kid puts in still to this day with whatever he's got,
Yeah.
like he's still in there, he grinds, he doesn't miss anything. Like that kid works his tail off and it's someone, outside looking in, like someone you look up to in a sense to like see the work ethic that he puts in, to see the success that he has. Like that's someone when I was saying like superstar, the guys that grind and they're still that superstar
Yeah.
status, like
Yeah.
they're gonna stay that for a long time, and that's Corbin Carroll.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, my favorite story is still him and his mom breaking into a high school in order to get to take BP,
That's it.
while COVID was going on or whatever. But obviously, one thing you've become known for very much is your electric cleats, your collection of shoes. I know everybody always has their favorite, but I have to ask all sorts of questions about the shoes. I guess first, are you the one that comes up with the concept? Like, are you the one that asks specifically for the cartoon character or whatever?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Is the artist a friend of yours, or is this just somebody that you've commissioned? Is it the same artist?
It's same artist. I don't think I'll ever switch the artist.
Okay.
But Lucia, he's I give him the idea and tell him run with it.
Okay. So
Like,
you just gotta tell them like a
correct. Because for me, I
Scooby Doo
can,
and go crazy
yeah,
with
like
it.
I want Scooby, like right now I have some Buzz Lightyear and Woody cleats being made.
Hey,
Two
that's
separate.
an exclusive
Yeah.
right there.
And for me,
That's
I
awesome.
with Lucia, it's like, hey, like I want Buzz Lightyear. I want him to do this, but like do it your own way.
Sure.
Because as for me, it's like when you tell an artist to draw a specific picture, they're gonna do it, great. But you're like, hey, I want this idea. Use your creation.
Yeah.
That's the artist.
Yeah.
So all the artwork that they've done before, um, they can use their artistic imagination to even enhance it more.
Sure.
And they're the ones doing the art, so they're going to do an even better job if they're using their own idea within your idea.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be able to tell them like, all right, put this little stuff on on the
Correct.
side and put this in between the eyelets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And an artist will just come up with some crazy stuff to do. How long does it take from the time that you like decide what you want and put it into him to until it's finished?
Earlier on in my career, when I first started doing them, they were coming back pretty quick.
Okay.
I would say like 2 weeks
Is he getting
with the
more
full
popular?
idea. Yeah, he got a lot more popular. He got a lot more big league. Um, but no, he's slammed now.
Yeah.
So I've been going to him for a long time. So he works with me a little bit on, when I have an idea to get it in by a specific time frame. But I do my best to also let him know of some of the stuff that I want to be done by that time. So
Yeah.
I give him the timely manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now will be a solid like we hope to have like a month in advance
Okay.
to let him know when I would want the cleats. But I mean, for just normal people in the sense of like just wanting, even just regular tennis shoes or even like cleats for their kids or something around those lines, I think the wait's pretty long.
I,
He's
I
pretty booked up.
I imagine so. I imagine so. It's like a tattoo artist, right? Like once they start getting that notoriety, that appointment book fills
Yeah,
up fast.
yeah.
How many custom pairs do you have now?
Shoot, I have a
Too
lot.
many? Too
I
many to
think.
count?
I mean, I'd have to like count them out. Probably like 15 pairs
Really?
of cartoons and
That's amazing.
yeah.
Have you ever had a pair that you liked so much that you didn't actually want to wear them on field when you saw them? Like they were so pretty, you were like, I can't do this.
So the SpongeBob, one of my SpongeBob pairs, the second SpongeBob pair that I had
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
I didn't want to wear them because of all the detail of how crazy the detail was, and then the cleat when I put it on, I had to then wear it because it's like I gotta show
Yeah,
these
yeah,
off,
yeah, yeah. You can't,
And then
can't buy it and put it on a shelf just to display, or
yeah,
can you? You know?
and that cleat then ended up like not feeling that great on my foot, so it
Hmm.
was very easy to be able to be like, all right, I'm not gonna wear these again,
Yeah,
and put them up. Same with like my debut cleats. But I think the ones that are coming, I've seen a preview of them and of him working on them, and they're the Buzz Lightyears are crazy.
yeah. They might
They're crazy.
they might be just too
They're
much to
crazy.
wear away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to ask you this because I can't imagine you not being a baseball pitcher. But if you weren't doing this, if you weren't playing baseball, what do you think you would be doing with your life, with your career?
I got so much I could say on this.
Like I know you're getting into all sorts of other stuff. I know you got
Yeah,
your hydration
yeah,
company that you're working with. I know you also have some acting stuff coming
yeah.
up. That's very cool. But
So
what?
that's something I want to do. I want to after baseball. I want to get into some movies. I'm kind of dabbling around in it now.
That's awesome.
Um, but yeah, I was speaking to you earlier on this in the sense of this drink company I'm going to be behind, and it's called Hydration Plus.
Mhm.
It's full NSF approved. It's something that I think will take over the market. I think it has a really good chance, depending on how we market it, how we or who we put it, get it to
Mhm.
the athletes that we can get it to, the people that just like, hydration drinks to
We're a big hydration podcast. I constantly have to remind Jesse to drink water every single
we'll have to
episode.
get you
So yeah,
some.
yeah.
We're gonna get you some.
Well, we live in Arizona. You gotta stay hydrated here
But yeah, I think for me now and in my career now, understanding that baseball doesn't last forever,
for sure. For
And
sure.
I was told that when I first got drafted, like, hey, what's plan B? And it's like, well, I don't have a plan B. And I still to this day will tell you I don't have a plan B.
That seems really early to be asking. Like, what
Yeah,
you're like, you're still pumped that you got drafted. And they're like,
100%.
hey, what are you doing after this job?
Yeah. Yeah. And
But
for me,
it's a good mindset to have, I guess.
I like to be where my feet are, and when plan B comes, I'll figure it out then.
Yeah,
But I don't want to put focus on plan B when my goal, my dream, and my life is plan A. So the time that I can work on plan B, I should be working on plan A
yeah,
to
yeah.
making that an extra,
That's
year or 2 years. So, but there's still the motion of starting things on the side, such as an off season, trying to branch out, trying to get the connections, trying to dabble in some things that can set you up for the future.
mhm,
And that's with that hydration drink.
yeah.
Something that I'm more kind of hands off on. Um, and my partners are more hands-on. I'm just, the guy that's backing it, in the sense of just kind of having that as a backup plan would be like my answer to this day,
Yeah.
because it's kind of hands off. They're gonna do it, and my role is whatever,
Mhm.
But and then the acting thing, yeah, I'm super pumped for that. I actually sat down with Yeardley Smith,
Lisa Simpson.
Lisa Simpson,
Lisa
yep.
Simpson. He knows Lisa Simpson.
And I sat down with a podcast with her that will probably be coming out before too long. I think she's got a lot more that she's gonna do. But
What was the connection there?
so my best friend that lives with me, Stan, his best friend that he went to college with is a huge movie producer in LA,
Okay.
and he works under Yeardley Smith.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she wanted to start like a sports podcast, and she's gonna make it into like a segment. I'm pretty sure, if she sees this, I hope I'm right on this, but she's going to make it into a segment. So she had like a murder mystery show a long time ago that
Okay.
got like over 100 million streams.
I'm not surprised.
And she's kind of doing the same thing with that, but with in the athlete standpoints. Um, so we'll see how it goes. I had a really good interview with her, and like I said, it's connection based out. And she wanted to learn about sports. Her husband's into sports,
Sure.
and the easiest way for her to learn that is to do something that she's good at in that field,
Yeah.
to try to then learn more about that.
Right. Talk to
So
athletes, interview them, have conversations
correct,
about
yeah.
it.
So that was a whole good, all that was good. And this whole movie thing now is with someone that's completely different. I don't know, a long time ago I put out on my Instagram story I want to be in a movie.
And they were
And
like,
this
"We
guy
got you.
was
Say
like, I
less."
actually might have a role for you in the upcoming, and he just DM'd me 2 nights ago and was like, I actually have a script that we can do in
Hey,
Arizona whenever you want,
let's
that's
go.
gonna get put in a movie. So
What is your role going to be? What are you going to do in it?
gonna
Can
be
you
a
tell us?
yeah, I'm gonna be a golf instructor.
Oh, well, that's right up your
And my
alley
name's
already.
James.
All right.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but oh well.
Hey, that's fine. It's all right. Not a lot of movie producers watch this podcast, but bro, well, I appreciate you taking the time when you're already talking to Yeardley Smith and Lisa Simpson to come talk with us, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for stopping by. He is Drey Jameson, and look for him to be making things electric on the field next year for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Get out to spring training, see these guys do their thing, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Starts really early this year. It feels like camp and everything starts earlier than ever. With
Yeah.
like we're playing spring training games in February. That's kind of wild this year.
Well,
But
the season starts what, the 25th?
yeah, like or yeah, 26, 26. I think. Yeah,
26,
so many
yeah.
guys. It's crazy,
It
crazy.
is.
But
It is getting earlier and earlier.
I know. Well, we need sports year round. Apparently, that's what we got to
Exactly.
have. So, but thank you again for stopping by. Make sure you follow him on social media. We're gonna take a quick break on the
I
other
have
side.
one more thing for
Oh,
Dre,
what do you got?
actually.
What do you
Dre,
got?
we have a video of you that we use a lot on this show. I just wanted to play it real quick and then find out if you are familiar with the phenomenon. So without further ado, I'll play the video.
That puts fire in my blood.
Are you aware of how often we use that video on this show?
Are you aware of how often we've said the phrase "puts fire in my blood" on this show?
I
Because
remember
of,
that.
Yeah.
That was a spring training
Yeah. Was
at
it?
the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that
When they
24?
swung, that was a 3-0. He swung, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it put fire in your blood.
Yeah, it does.
Never forgets. These guys never forget anything. Well, again, man, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you guys for being here. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk about the Padres being in on Nolan Arenado and why that makes it even sweeter that we were able to land him. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Drive into excitement with the fabulous Corvette giveaway running January 16th through April 24th at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. That's right. Be like Drey Jameson. Get yourself a brand new Corvette, and you can do this at any one of their 4 casinos. Each casino we're talking about has a Corvette to give away. 4 casinos, 4 Corvettes, 4 big chances to win. Wild Horse Pass, Vikiva, Lone Butte, or Santan Mountain. All you got to do to qualify is go Fridays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They'll have hourly drawings for free bonus play or a finale entry. On Tuesdays and Saturdays, you can earn 4 times the entries when you play with the card from Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And on Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., you can get in on the hot seat finale qualifier where you play with the card for your shot at a chance to be like Dre and own a brand new Corvette. So do not miss out on all of this action. Don't miss your chance to accelerate into luxury. Play, earn, and win at any one of their 4 casino locations. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, and hope you win big. If you do, you have to take me for a ride. And speaking of winning big, you can multiply your chances to maybe get yourself a brand new vehicle through Arizona Lottery's Multiplier Scratchers, which is a great way right now to add multiplying things to your life, multiply the vacation time, multiply not needing a job potentially, or most importantly, maybe multiply how much you can give to others with the new Multiplier Scratcher tickets. Right now, you could win over $270 million in prizes. You can win big to do enough of the things you love in life even more. So multiplier tickets start at just $1 and have prizes up to $5 million per ticket. Do not miss out on the chance to multiply the free time in your life. With access to over 3,500 retailers across the state, you can play wherever and whenever you like with Arizona Lottery. Must be 21 or over to play. Well, you guys know it's an empty seat next to me. He had to get. We have more questions for him, so make sure to keep it locked on social media. Emma's going to be using her tiny mic to get some more questions from Drey, including one I forgot to ask, what was his favorite pair of cleats. So make sure to keep it locked there.
I feel like he gave that answer though with the SpongeBob ones.
It has to be the.
He's like, I can't even wear these. They're so
right.
cool.
I mean, yeah. Well, and then the Buzz Lightyear.
The Buzz Lightyear ones are on the way.
Replace those when they come, but
those are going to be fresh.
Oh, so fresh. I'm kind of hoping that he got a pair of Woody and he got a pair of Buzz, but I hope he just swaps one shoe out with the other.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. Mismatch of the
right.
same cleat, but one is Woody and one is Buzz.
That's the way it has to work.
100%. That's how it has to work.
I'll text him later. I'll text him about that. But hey, I'll tell you one thing that's good. One thing that we are glad that the Diamondbacks got is Drey Jameson. Another thing we're glad that they got is Nolan Arenado, because apparently the San Diego Padres wanted him. And so if just having Nolan Arenado for $5 million a year in 2026 and $6 million for 2027 isn't satisfying enough for you, hopefully what satisfies you even more is knowing that we helped keep the Padres, that poverty franchise, down even more and keep them from ever winning a World Series. According to Ken Rosenthal at The Athletic, the Padres were one of the teams that pushed hardest for Nolan Arenado. What's weird is I don't recall there being any connection between the Diamondbacks and Arenado until that final 24 hours. There was an article about some comments that Shane Bloom had made in regards to potentially trading Arenado, and he mentioned apparently that one of the teams was the Diamondbacks at the time, along with the Angels. But then things seemed to move very quickly for the Diamondbacks, and less than what felt like 12 hours later, we had ourselves a new third baseman here in Arizona. Meanwhile, San Diego's plan, according to Ken Rosenthal, was apparently to move him to first base. So that's very interesting. It's something we brought up on the show. It's something that was kind of asked of Mike Hazen, who did not give a clear answer about that. He honestly said that he had not had conversations with Arenado about switching positions, and basically made it sound like they had no meetings internally to discuss that as of yet. Not to say it's something that they will not try, not something that they venture into, especially with having Blaze Alexander and, Jordan Lawler, both third basemen, as part of this team. But according to this report, the issue with San Diego was not Arenado moving to first base. If you look on his Instagram, Nolan Arenado actually posted a picture of a first baseman's glove, meaning he was all in on becoming a first baseman, and he still might be for the Diamondbacks. I just can't help but wonder if that picture was a teaser about him possibly going to San Diego. But according to this report, the holdup was that the Padres were unwilling to take on as much of Arenado's salary as the Dbacks did. And it's not like the Dbacks took on a whole lot of money. They get Nolan Arenado here for Jack Martinez. That's the proper way to say it, former ASU Sun Devil. And they do have to pay him $11 million over 2 years in this economy, where paying a player $5.5 million per year really is practically next to nothing. Diamondbacks couldn't even sign a reliever that costs $5 million a year. In fact, Michael Soroka, who is somewhat of a reclamation project as a starter, was still $7.5 million a year. So to bring in a perennial Gold Glover and an all-star like, like Nolan Arenado is, it's not taking on too much salary, and the Padres really missed out. Perhaps they were just playing hardball. Perhaps they thought that the Cardinals, would maybe come down to their request or to their asking price. But the Cardinals agreed to send $31 million of Arenado's remaining $42 million over the next 2 years to the Diamondbacks.
I heard that the Rockies are paying 5 of that, Derek.
Yes, I know. That's my favorite part about this, Damon. It is my favorite part. My favorite part is that the Rockies and the Cardinals are both paying Nolan Arenado to play for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, we're paying about what the Rockies are going to pay next year for Nolan Arenado.
Right. So I don't understand how people within the Diamondbacks community can view this as a bad thing. I understand Nolan Arenado had a bad season last year. Defensively, he didn't. Defensively, he's still one of the best third basemen in the league.
That's what doesn't make sense to me about moving him to first base. Third base is so much more valuable defensively, and it's not as if he was bad at third base last season. He was very good. Like he was 81st in range.
You're right.
His arm strength has taken a bit of a hit since his prime, but that's less important than being a guy who is able to get to all of these balls. And it's not like his arm strength is bad. It's 43rd percentile.
Right.
So it's very average.
See, Mike Hazen's comments the other day made me feel like they just hadn't really considered it, which makes me not really think that that's the plan. And you're right. I mean, if he was maybe an aging third baseman over there that had his best years behind him defensively, and he maybe became a bit of a liability out there for the Cardinals last year, maybe I would agree with the idea of moving him to first base. Maybe it's just because I feel like this team still needs a first baseman. Perhaps that's the reason why I feel like moving him to first base makes sense. But the bigger thing here is the Cardinals, meanwhile, they're the true property franchise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean that for more than one reason.
It's over.
They have now sent $20 million to the Red Sox in the Sonny Gray trade. Wow. They've sent $8 million more to the Red Sox in the Wilson Contreras trade. And now they've sent $31 million to the Diamondbacks. They have spent $59 million in just getting rid of players. In just making other teams take away the good players that they had.
Wow.
Does not seem like financial relief was the goal of removing Arenado from the Cardinals, considering how much they're eating here.
The death of the St. Louis Cardinals franchise, Derek. I think that's fair to say. Like they were Yankees NL. Like they were the premier organization in the National League forever. And now look at them. I mean, just a shell of themselves, trying to get rid of salary just to save, $10 million, and they're still paying 50. Their team's falling off of a cliff. I saw a tweet, and I forget who tweeted it out, but Nolan Arenado left the Rockies to go win more playoff games in the Cardinals, and ended his Cardinals tenure with less playoff games played than what he did in Colorado.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. I mean, you could argue that his time there was a success because he was very good for a number of years for the Cardinals, but the idea that they didn't win that many playoff games or more than he did in the time with the Rockies is nuts.
He was more successful on the Rockies than on the Cardinals postseason wise. And that is wild to think about. I feel bad for like Kevin Thomas, of course, former producer of this show. Big Cardinals guy. He's just in the dumps, man. He's like, man, this organization is cooked. And I'm like, it is. I got nothing else for you.
Did you see he beat me up in the final episode that we did together? So I hope all the bad things happen to all of his sports teams.
Voodoo doll.
Until the end of time.
Yeah.
I will say that the Padres, meanwhile, just continue to do weird crap. Like the idea that they were going to bring in a third baseman when they already have a third baseman is insane. And they're just going to convert him to a first baseman because they're, whatever. That franchise is a mess, and I hope all the bad things happen to them and nobody but them. But I do want to thank you guys for being here today. Big thanks to our guy, Drey Jameson. There are certain people in this organization that I've always just really enjoyed speaking to, and he is definitely one of them. Also, hilarious to me to hear him say that he's shy, because that man does in fact have fire in his blood. But of course, I also wanted to thank you guys for being diehards. If you are not already a diehard, now is a great time to join us. We're going to have some new exclusive content for all of you in 2026. A lot of surprises. So I hope you guys sign up. Right now, you can join us and get your free t-shirt. You can get 20% off merch. You can get 20% off events, including our inevitable pool party that we will be having at Chase Field. Plus, you will get access to the PHNX Discord Lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan and talk with all of your favorite PHNX personalities and fans. And Kevin, he's also there. Head to gophnx.com and prove your fanhood by becoming a PHNX diehard today.
Derek, do you think that we can end with this here, but do you think that this makes Jordan Lawler more expendable?
Yes. What's weird to me is, and again, going back to what you were saying about Nolan Arenado, uh, I don't feel like Blaze's bat, even though it was very hot at one point, ended up being good enough, consistent enough throughout the year for you to say, like, oh, you got to get Blaze in there at third base offensively, and that means you have to move Arenado over to first. And you could definitely say the same about Jordan Lawler. I saw a report, in fact, that said Lawler was going to play the outfield because the D-backs need to have his bat in there. And I was like, sir, have you ever seen Jordan Lawler play baseball at a major league level? That's no disrespect to him. But at this point, I do not feel like he has done enough to prove that his bat is valuable and we need to find a way to get it into the lineup. Now, he's had a lot of success in his minor league career that still makes me believe in him. I think that falls on the Diamondbacks, quite frankly, because of this constant position shuffle that they've done with him. And again, this is that same thing of like, okay, well, you're constantly blocking him, and then you also want him to figure it out elsewhere or figure it out as a utility player or now switch to being an outfielder. And I don't feel like that's fair to that young man. I don't feel like he should entirely be blamed for his development kind of being hampered by these changes and by these situations. But however, I will say that we're all big boys, right? This is baseball. You have to, perform in order for you to get those jobs. And quite frankly, if Jordan Lawler, isn't able to go out there and find a way to put things together at the plate and find a role in the field, infield, outfield, doesn't matter, then I mean, again, it's also on him. It's also on him. So
Derek,
putting all their blame on the organization.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Jordan Lawler has less than 100 career ABs.
Yeah.
What is his career WAR? Guess.
Negative 0.7.
Negative 0.5. That was a pretty good guess. But getting negative half a game WAR in that short of a sample size is diabolical.
Yeah.
In what world does he just have a spot where he's penciled in the starting lineup?
Yeah.
I don't understand this idea that, the Diamondbacks are blocking Jordan Lawler. Jordan Lawler is blocking Jordan Lawler. He needs to go up there and hit in his limited opportunities and prove to the Diamondbacks that he earns more playing time, because I don't think that it should just be given to you, especially not when you have a Eugenio Suarez, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo on your infield in the spots that he would play, right? And then now you have Nolan Arenado. I think that Lawler, it's not out on him. He's not done, but he needs to make the most of his limited opportunities and be undeniable for the Diamondbacks in order to actually get more playing time and raise his value. Because at what he's shown right now, there's no world where you'd be like, he needs more at-bats. We need to actually get him up there more so he can strike out on every breaking ball and never get a good hit.
It's just consistency. It's just consistency.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's hard for you to shuffle a guy around. Let's not forget he was asked to play third base not that long ago. It's not like third base was his natural position, right?
He looked a little rough over there.
Second baseman, asked to play third. If you ask somebody to continue to do different things and you don't give them time to settle into that thing before then you're asking them to do something else, then I just don't feel like it's really giving them the biggest opportunity to grow in any role that you're asking them. However, Blaze Alexander is like the antithesis to that, right? And he's the opposite. Blaze Alexander kind of thrived in every role that he was asked of, and even though
last season for sure, right?
Last year,
he struggled with the defense at shortstop when he came up for Jerry in 2024.
Absolutely,
but last year at third base, he looked very promising at defensively.
Right.
Meanwhile, and Blaze had 1.7 WAR last year. Derek, by the way,
Blaze was incredible, and I mean he made highlight plays after highlight play, no matter where he was. Third base, making great plays. Outfield, robbing home runs. He was outstanding.
Maybe Blaze is the left fielder, Derek, or maybe
I can't believe he has video of him running bases and such with like 95% bar down at the bottom of the screen. It's insane. It's insane.
I mean, he's sliding into third. Like, he's practicing sliding now, Derek. That's
Yeah.
what we're at. That's the part of the rehab process that we're at. I don't know. I'm checking my watch here. T minus 5 months from his ACL injury, and he's sliding into second base.
He might be superhuman.
He's him.
Jesse once said that me dyeing my hair purple gave him superhuman powers. Maybe that's what happened here.
I'm
Maybe that's
fired
what
up for Lourdes. I think I've never, I was very hard on Lourdes last year. I've never been more fired up for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. ball.
I mean, right? Like that you have to be fired up by somebody that's trying so hard to get ready. The expectations were so incredibly low that this man could be pulling, a fat Thor from the Avengers and just sitting on his couch eating and letting it, just enjoying his time off. No, instead he's training diligently, pushing himself every single day to try to blow every expectation out of the water as far as when he was going to return. And I mean, again, you see his messages. He wants to be ready by opening day. Is he going to be? I have no idea, but I mean, you gotta love the effort that he's putting in, and you gotta love how hard he's trying to make sure that he's back to help this team win baseball games. So you just love that about Lourdes, and again, you love that about this team, as Drey said. Like, this is a team that's a team of grinders, and that right there of him grinding to rehab and get back is the perfect example of that. But that's all we got for you guys today. Thrilled once again to have Drey here. I thank him so much for stopping by, especially in his brand new Corvette that probably should not be parked in our parking garage at all. That's crazy, Damon, that he drove around that narrow entranceway in that
Oof.
thing. It's got a big old fin on the back. It's amazing. But anyway, thanks to Drey. Thank you to you all for stopping by. We appreciate your time. We will be back tomorrow with another 12 p.m. show make sure to join us for that. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Damon, of course, is at Damon Dog with a DAWG. And we're all Damon's dogs all the time, even when he's not on set. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate your time so much. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Behave yourself, Books Journey. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Drey stops by to put fire in your blood.
We all silly like the mayor.